Falcons fans. Welcome, Falcon fans all over. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. And we got a good show today. Got pretty good content. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons. This is geared up to be uh, definitely an NFC showdown. On Monday night, the Philadelphia Eagles welcomes us into the Lincoln Field for a primetime game in the lights. Thus far, the Eagles hold a 6-game lead over the Falcons in all-time head-to-head matchups with a 21-15 with one tie. Yeah. And that tie, I think, came probably long before a lot of us were born. Definitely happened like in 1970, around in that area. But Philadelphia has dominated recent meetings that we've had, winning 4 of the last 5. Although I'm optimistic about this Monday Night Football game, my feelings are on Kirk Cousins and his health is not so optimistic. Uh, and I'm speaking solely on, and let me go on record as saying too, I'm not by no means giving up on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, I do believe, is that quarterback that is perfect for us, and what has been ailing us up to this point. Uh, but I'm still suspect on and based solely on the performance of last game. People say, well, it wasn't just Kirk Cousins. That's rightly so. That's right. Uh, Zac Robinson may have played a part in that. Now, here's the thing. Zac Robinson may have been calling the correct plays, but because of Kirk Cousins' immobility, those plays may have looked like the wrong plays. We just don't know. However, Zac Robinson's lack of experience as a play caller could play a role, or they may counter each other. So we just don't know. Kirk Cousins' inability with Zac Robinson's lack of experience is something that they should have worked out in preseason. I'm just going to go out on record and saying that those are things that you work out prior to games that count. Because truth be told, that first game against Pittsburgh looked like a preseason game pretty much. You don't want to work out your lows and woes in the games that count. But luckily enough, they are not divisional game. That wasn't a divisional game. However, when it comes down to it, we may have wished we won that game. Sometimes you have to win to send a statement. Sometimes. People have knocked this game off as being just the first game of the season. Relax. Some people have said that this is Kirk Cousins knocking the rust off, something that you do in the preseason. Some people have said, well, Kirk Cousins and Zac Robinson needs time to gel. Again, something that you work out in the preseason. Now, I get it. You cannot win every first game. But sometimes you have to win to send a statement. And looking back at his past performance against the Steelers, how unsure he looked, how uncomfortable he looked, I am even more or less optimistic with a formidable front that we're going to be facing on Monday night. What has me even more concerned is, and not that it really matters, but it does, if that makes any sense, is Kirk Cousins' record and his performance on primetime football, more notably on Monday nights. With a 3-10 record going into Monday night, the Falcons need Kirk to find a way to let this game be like a second coming of Kirk Cousins, much like what Chris Chandler did for us back in 1998 when he led us to the Atlanta Falcons, when he led the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl 33. Now, the task of taking down tough opponents like the Philadelphia Eagles is nothing new to Kirk. But on this particular Monday night, Kirk needs to make up his mind that he needs to go in there and take down the Eagles Like he took down the San Francisco 49ers at home last season before his injury, recording 378 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he won't get the opportunity to play at home in front of a crowd that he's familiar with and will show him favor. But he'll have to go on the road and play a very hostile Philadelphia Eagles fan base. This is just one of the biggest games on the schedule for the Atlanta Falcons for obvious reasons. More notably, how we stack up against tough and formidable opposition. Also to note, playing on ESPN, tongue-tied, hasn't been Cousins' forte either. I'm gonna let's share the screen here. And let's see where we at. I'm going to share with you Kirk Cousins' past, and I hope you guys can see that on Monday Night Football, ESPN, more notably Monday Night Football. And as you can see, it is not in Kirk Cousins' favor. Like I said, a 3-10 record, and what's even more notably here is the fact that these are all people that are what you would call playoff caliber teams. All of them can make the playoffs. Well, except them Dallas Cowboys. They haven't made it in a while. All right, back to business. But yeah, you see, these are all playoff caliber type teams playing on Monday night, ESPN, and Kirk Cousins didn't fare well as far as win or losses. Now, I didn't go as far as to, and I'm going to do it. I just didn't do it for this content. The numbers on Kirk for those nights, because there are plenty of time where Kirk threw over 300, close to 400 yards, and came out on the losing end. So I'm going to go back and look at it. I'm going to research it. But as you can see, Monday night ESPN is not in Kirk Cousins' favor. Oh my goodness, I don't like that. I mean, I love the fact that we're playing in the lights Monday nights. Give us exposure, and as they say, any publicity is good publicity. All depends on how you look at it. But anyway, 2 things Cousins need to do in this game. 2 things. He needs to prove and show that he is healthy going forward and that he can win on Monday night. If he can win this game on Monday night, the rest of this season, he could possibly win. One thing I like about Kirk, though, he is not easily rattled. He is not easily rattled. He continues to perform no matter what the crowd, no matter what Vince said in the comments by the commentators, no matter the criticism. He goes out and has the capability to produce big numbers, but not necessarily ending up in the win column. But if he produces big numbers with us, I have a great feeling that we could come away with a win here in Philadelphia. But my opinion is, in order for us to win this game, Zac Robinson and the Atlanta Falcons offense need to have a very heavy dose of Tyler Algier. Algier needs to get the touches. We need to utilize that 1-2 punch, but Algier needs to get the bulk of these touches to wear down the Eagles' defensive front, drawing the linebackers in close, therefore opening up a lot of plays like the ones Kirk threw to Ray McCloud on last week against the Steelers. Play action is his forte. So we need to get into that. We need to get back to that. And I would not be against seeing rookie wide receiver Casey Washington making his NFL debut. Across the league, it's not for everybody, but across the league, you see rookies, more notably receivers, that are making their NFL debut and they are performing. And when I say performing, they are contributing to the win that their team is on. I mean, with the team that they're on, they're contributing to the win. And it's clear during the Pittsburgh game, we are still in need of a speedy wide receiver. Who that would be, I don't know. But we all know that Terry is up to something. He's restructured 2-3 players contract. Has freed up a lot of money. I don't know if he's doing that to stay under that luxury tax. I don't think we was anywhere near it. But the fact that he's doing that tells me that he's looking further. We don't know if that's for um, looking for another receiver, looking for another quarterback, or even looking for another offensive lineman. We just don't know. Maybe even a defensive player. We just don't know until Terry take the lid off that crock pot and let us smell what's cooking. But the offensive line definitely will have their hands full keeping Kirk Cousins upright, clean, and off the ground. Caleb McGarry has to perform this game. I'm not worried about Chris Lindstrom, Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, and there's a question mark over Dolman. Dolman have to show his nastiness. He's going to have to show it, and so does Caleb. Caleb is going to have to come out that shell and show why he's one of the meanest guards, tackles in this league. He's going to have to show it. Do whatever it takes to protect Kirk Cousins. Do it. Don't hurt the team. Don't hurt any process that we progression that we may be on, but protect Kirk Cousins. The whole offensive line needs to do that. And that was one of the things that I talked about earlier in my expectation of the season, is whether or not the offensive line is going to develop the chemistry like that 2016 team did, offensive line did back in 2016. Are they going to be able to gel that chemistry to help each other out? They protected Matt Ryan, and it showed. Matt Ryan was able to sit back there and distribute that ball. And I'm talking about over a 40,000-yard season. Matthew Bergeron, but that Matt Ryan was able to put together and get to the Super Bowl. And that's what this offensive line is going to have to do. They're going to have each other's back. But one thing that they're definitely going to have to do, and I don't know if that's going to ride on Zac Robinson, the captain of that line, or Kirk Cousins, but they have to change up that snap cadence. Pittsburgh picked it right up, and if you guys notice, Dolman looks down both sides of the line, does a point type gesture or whatever, and when he puts his head down, he gives a 1 count, come up, and Pittsburgh picked it right up. Now, I don't know if that helped TJ Watt out, but I know it helped out Hinesmith. I know it helped him out. That's how he ended up getting to Kirk Cousins. So we have to change up that snap count. But they still have to block. I'm not worried about that left side with Matthew Bergeron and Jake Matthews, but it's that end. I'm not even worried about Chris Lindstrom on the right side, but it's that Caleb McGarry. Hopefully, this gets rectified. Like I said, TJ Watt was a handful, and it would be a handful for anybody to tackle, any offensive tackle or tight end to block. So I'm not looking for Caleb McGarry to have to face that week in and week out. However, we do need to see improvement from Gary, because from here on out, it probably will get easier. He probably won't face another TJ Watt for the rest of the season, but we need to see improvement if he wants to stay a Falcon. Lastly, the offense needs to stay on the field much longer than they did last week. Although the defense primarily held up their end of it, and became noticeable that they began to wear down in the closing quarter. So the offense needs to convert these third downs, because Philadelphia is not going to let Kirk Cousins just stand back there like he did last week. Pistol or no pistol, he's not going to be able to just stand back there. He's going to have to. We're going to have to see some type of mobility from Kirk, especially if he wants to do any play action. He's going to have to go what he does best, and that's play action, getting rid of the ball. This week, he's got to get rid of it even faster. So, excuse me. So the receivers have to do their job. Is going through their route tree faster than expected. The Falcons ranked 5th in play action rate in 2023. So we need to get back to that. And given the presence of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, both who are very capable of 1,000 yards, and if you don't get them to the ground in the backfield, we should be able to use play action, passing plays at will with no problem. It's about 2 running backs capable of 1,000 yards. So we should be able to play action should be just another play for us. Hopefully opening up plays for Kyle Pitts and Bijan, Drake London, Ray McLeod, Darnell Mooney. I would like to see a lot of Darnell out of this off that play action. We already know Drake London is going to get his touches, but there needs to be another receiver that needs to step up and be the recipient of that play action. I said it before that I thought Hunter Renfrow would be perfect as a third option receiver. Whether that happens, still, I don't know. But that's another story. That's another video. But now, in order for us to use play action, like I said, Kirk has to get mobile, something that he didn't show up for Pittsburgh, except for that one pass for Kyle Pitts and the game-only touchdown. The Philadelphia Eagles love to blitz. So Kirk is either going to have to get mobile or get rid of the ball super quick. With us showing Kirk lack of ability, mobility, and agility, Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is surely going to bring the house on more than one occasion unless we utilize play action successfully. And that's provided we get our run game going, which I don't think we'll have a problem doing. Now, Philadelphia is good against the run, but they are not great. We can continue to beat down that front seven using both of our running backs with that 1-2 punch that same 1-2 punch that we had back in 2016 that wore down defenses. We need to get back to that. We have players that can do that. If Bijan is begging to be used like Christian McCaffrey, then we need to do that. He has the ability to become a McCaffrey type player. Use it. Open up that playbook, Zac Robinson. Opening it up. Use it. Get Kirk Cousins mobile. All right. That's all on offense I got on that one. Now on to the defense. We're already going to be short on defense. We're going to be without the services of Nate Landman, the undrafted phenom, who's going to be out with a calf or quad injury. That's not funny. I was just laughing because I called him a undrafted phenom, which I think he is. But he was definitely a steal. However, this is definitely an opportunity to see whether or not linebacker Troy Anderson will be able to deliver on his expectations coming into the season. Some say he did very well against Pittsburgh. I don't think he did enough to boot Nate Landman out. I think Nate Landman played phenomenal against Pittsburgh, especially on I think there was a 4th down play where he jumped over the line. Now, granted, he's not going to be able to do that every play, but at the same time, he played very well on defense. But there's not a lot to ask of the defense except to pick up where they left off from the Pittsburgh game, getting pressure on Jalen Hurts, stopping the run, getting after Saquon Barkley, and especially not allowing Jalen to make big plays with his legs, especially on 3rd downs when it seems like the defense gets spread out and Jalen just seems like he has all the time in the world. He's going to take off. If that defense gets opened up like that, where he can see the world, he's not throwing. He's going to take off, especially if it's a short, a short third down conversion or fourth down. He's going to take off. And I hope Jimmy Lake does not go back to this rushing three men on a third and short or fourth and short. I hope he does not do that again. But what else are we going to talk about? Oh, okay. However, what I am looking forward to is seeing Grady Jarrett pump up the defense, adopting this meet me at the football mentality. Grady Jarrett, the defense needs to ride on Grady. Matthew Judon, I'm looking for him to have the phenomenal game he normally does against Pittsburgh. They cannot stop Matthew. Matthew Judon needs to have that experience that he has always had against Pittsburgh, and then some. Grady Jarrett is playing balls out, coming back from an injury that we thought that was going to be bothersome to him. But it seemed like he's come back stronger than ever. He played balls out against Pittsburgh. He got after the ball. However, containing a mobile quarterback hasn't been exactly an easy task for us. We'll stop the run, but if we're playing against a mobile quarterback, for some reason, we just seems like it's the first time we ever had to play against a quarterback. Somehow we just missed that part, stopping the quarterback, that mobile quarterback who likes to take off on a run. If we don't stop Jalen, we at least need to limit him to big plays, limit him to what he's able to do with his legs, make him uncomfortable back there. Get after him, get that push like we've been seeing all through the OTAs and even in the Pittsburgh game. Get that push. Much like this defense, say also on defense, AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell in the secondary has to get a couple of takeaways, something that they neglected to do against the Steelers. The Steelers were not that good. Their offense was trash, hence the no touchdowns. I don't know if it was that they were trash or the fact that we played very well, but they did not score either. Or should I say they did not score a touchdown. We scored a touchdown. But they have to get some takeaways in there, something. At the very least, not allowing the Eagles to get extra sets of downs, converting fourth downs. That's all defense. Get that push up front. Get Jalen out of the pocket, uncomfortable. Get him to making ill-advised throws. We also need to get teams off the field on third downs. The Falcons were number 3 third down defense a season ago at 33.8%. We allowed the Steelers to convert 47.1% last week. Like I said, we played great up front. We played phenomenal up front. Can't ask for too much more. But going down the stretch there, AJ gave up 2 huge plays that contributed to the 47.1%. 2 huge plays, and then he missed a tackle, I think it was, that enabled them to pick up another first down off third down. Now, granted, Pittsburgh didn't always capitalize on those opportunities where they picked up a lot of conversions, third down conversions. But we don't want to get into the habit of staying on the field, giving teams the pretense that they can challenge us on third downs when they want to. We don't want that. We want them to second, third, and fourth guess themselves on third downs on whether or not they want to go for it on fourth downs. That's what we need from that defense. Like I said, as long as we pick up where we left off from last week against Pittsburgh, I think we'll be all right. However, AJ and that secondary needs to get a couple of takeaways via fumble recoveries, or of course the fumble recovery happens for everybody on the defense, but the secondary need to step it up. And I'm not gonna say we didn't absolutely fail against Pittsburgh in the secondary outside of the 2 plays by AJ, but the fact that we didn't get any turnovers when the expectations are there, they are very high at getting the turnovers for us this year. And granted, Jesse Bates is a safety and very well capable of getting interceptions. I mean, come on, you can't catch everything, but at the same time, you can cover. You can help out over the top, under help. But guys, my final thought is Atlanta's roster is loaded. Our roster is loaded, talented playmakers, and Cousins could get the ball out quickly and force Philadelphia defenders to make tackles in space. If Cousins is able to do that efficiently, the Falcons could make things interesting and quite possibly come away with a win in Eagletown on Monday night. It's not impossible. Kirk Cousins is no stranger to big games. It just so happened that this one here is on a Monday night where he does not fare very well. If this had been on Sunday, I'll say hands down, Philadelphia has a game on their hands. Of course, they're going to have a game on their hands anyway, but I wouldn't be so less optimistic. So we need to eliminate that fact that something's wrong with Kirk Cousins. The offensive line need to eliminate errors. More notably, Caleb McGarry, Chris and Dolman. Not allowing nose tackles to come up through that middle, where Kirk Cousins definitely will be. Is not far from the like he will have to come off that edge. We need to get a very heavy dose of Tyler Algier. And when I say heavy dose of Tyler Algier, I mean more handles than Bijan. I know Bijan is our starter, but I think Tyler Algier will beat up that defense, wear them down. So when BJ does come in there, they'll be wore out. We need to implement play action, get play action going. This is what Kirk Cousins does best. This is how we win now. This is how we're going to outrun the division. This is surely how we will beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We got to get play action in. Defense must contain Jalen Hurts. Bottom line, contain Jalen Hurts. Get that push up front, set those edges so that he can't take off running. Get him to making ill-advised throws that he's been known to do. But ESPN Monday night has been Kirk Cousins' nemesis. Let's hope he can flip this around and turn it into and make ESPN Monday night his ally. So this definitely will be the NFC showdown that everybody's been looking for. Definitely the game of the year. It's not the game against the Chiefs. It's not the game against New Orleans. This is the game of the year. Early, week 2. So guys, let me know what you think. Any plus or minuses that I missed, make a comment down in the comment section. Any agreements, disagreements, hit the comment section. You know how I do. Like I said, anything that I missed, point it out. But guys, I thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on this content. As always, thank you for subscribing. Pass the word that my podcast is definitely coming. It's still coming. It's in the works. And hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. So when I drop my next content, you'll definitely be notified. All right, guys, and as always, as Atlanta Falcons fans, we always rise up.